Hello everyone, I am going to give a talk on methods for immobilization of enzymes. So what is enzyme immobilization? It is a process of confining the enzyme molecules to a solid support over which a substrate is passed and converted to product. So basically you are attaching your enzyme or you are confining your enzyme or enclosing it at a fixed place, and then when you pass the substrate over this enzyme which has been fixed at a particular place, it will be converted, the substrate will be converted to product and enzyme will remain as it is. So you are basically restricting the movement of enzymes in a particular space, and this restriction can be complete or it can be to a small limited region. So why do we need to immobilize enzymes? First thing is to protect from degradation and deactivation. It is ready to be reused so that the cost of production will be less. You can stop the reaction rapidly by removing this immobilized enzyme. The stability of the enzyme is more. The enzyme can be easily separated from the product. The product is not contaminated with the enzyme because the enzyme is already enclosed in a compartment or it is attached to something. It can be recycled, it can be repetitively used. Cost efficiency of this particular method. It allows development of multi-enzyme reaction system. It is inert. Then method makes the enzyme physically strong and stable, cost effective, regenerable, and there is reduction in product inhibition. So what is the procedure? You take the enzyme and you mix it with adsorbent. What is this adsorbent? It is basically a carrier molecule to which the enzyme will be attached, or it will be enclosed in a matrix made up of this particular material. So which conditions are needed? There has to be appropriate pH and a particular ionic strength which should be there. So under these conditions you mix the enzyme with adsorbent and then you incubate for a particular period of time. The carrier matrix is washed thoroughly to get rid of unabsorbed enzyme molecules. So when you do this washing, those enzyme molecules which are not attached or which are not enclosed, they will be removed due to washing, and you get enzyme molecules, only those enzyme molecules which are attached to a substrate or which are enclosed in a mesh. So these are known as immobilized enzymes. So how many types of carrier molecules can be used? These molecules can be inorganic carriers, organic natural carriers, or organic synthetic carriers. So these are the characteristic features of three types of carrier materials. Inorganic carriers have high pressure stability. They may undergo abrasion. Example is silica, porous glass. Organic natural carriers are favorable because they have a very compatible nature with proteins. Examples are DEAE cellulose, dextran, and various other polysaccharides such as agarose, starch, etc. Organic synthetic carriers, they have high chemical and mechanical stability. Example is polystyrene and polyvinyl acetate. So when we immobilize enzyme, we can do it in two ways. Either we attach it to a surface, means a carrier material, and this attachment is basically because of formation of a chemical bond. So this bond can be a covalently formed bond which will result in covalently linked enzyme, and or it can be adsorbed form. If you are not attaching it chemically, you are just entrapping it or physically containing it inside a mesh, then it can be done in two ways. Either it will be microencapsulation or it will be matrix entrapped enzyme. So let's talk about the first type, that is bound covalently linked type of immobilization. So what happens here? The covalent linkage is achieved between a functional group on the enzyme, and this functional group is not essential for catalytic activity, or it is not acting as a reactive group. So the functional groups which are most commonly used for formation of a covalent bond, these are amino or carboxyl group, hydroxyl group, imidazole group, indole groups, etc. And the reactions which result in formation of these bonds are mostly acylation, amylation, arylation or alkylation. Some supports which have been very commonly used as carrier materials here are agarose, cellulose, dextran, chitin, starch, etc. So most of these supports which are used here, they are organic in nature, but recently the use of inorganic support has also been advocated because of many advantages associated with inorganic materials, such as non-toxicity, good half-life, and the ease with which these inorganic materials can be modified to suit any particular enzyme system. So what are the advantages? The coupling of the enzyme to the support is easy, and the derivative is easy to manipulate and adapt, and the supports are widely available commercially. Now what are the disadvantages? Some preparations are tedious to make. The chemical bonding may inactivate the enzyme in some cases, and in some cases the covalently bound water insoluble enzyme has a low catalytic activity on high molecular weight substrate. So this is how it will result. This is the carrier material and the enzyme is covalently linked to this carrier material. Second type of chemical bonding of enzyme to carrier material is by physical adsorption. So this method is based on physical adsorption of enzyme protein on the surface of water insoluble carriers. Examples are ion exchange matrices, porous carbon clay, hydroxide, metal oxides, glasses and other things. The bond which is responsible for attachment of enzyme to the carrier may be ionic, covalent, hydrogen, coordinate, or even it can be a combination of any of these. So this immobilization can be brought about by coupling an enzyme either to external or internal surface of the carrier. The external surface binding method is better because it does not involve conditions like pore diffusion, and the disadvantages are exposure of enzymes to microbial attack, physical abrasion of enzyme, and the major disadvantage of internal immobilization method is the pore diffusion. So how this physical adsorption can be done? It can be done by following methods: static process, dynamic process, reactor loading and electro deposition. So this is how it will happen. This is a porous solid support, this is the enzyme. So when the adsorption will take place, the enzyme will get attached to this porous solid support by means of formation of any type of chemical bond. So this is how it will look like once the bonding has happened. So you can see these black structures, they are showing the formation of bonds. So what are the advantages? There is little or no conformational change of the enzyme. It is simple and cheap. No reagents are required. Widely applicable and capable of high enzyme loading. What are the disadvantages? Desorption of enzyme protein resulting from changes in temperature, pH and ion strength, and it's a very slow method. Second method is microencapsulation. So this results in packaging the enzyme in tiny spherical capsules in semi-permeable or liquid membranes. So these are the enzyme molecules, and this is a semi-permeable or liquid membrane, and which is enclosing all these enzyme molecules. So to prepare these microcapsules, a highly aqueous concentration of enzyme is prepared, and then it is emulsified in an organic solvent or solvents with a surfactants which is soluble in the organic solvent. So these two methods are used to form microcapsules in this emulsion. So whether you do it by the first method or by coacervation dependent method, in both cases the enzyme droplets are formed during vigorous stirring, and semi-permeable membrane is allowed to harden around the micro droplets. The microcapsules are then washed and transferred, and the membrane which will be formed around enzyme, it can be made up of cellulose nitrate, polystyrene, etc. The organic solvent which is commonly used will be dependent on the type of solvent, on the type of encapsulation material. What are the advantages? An extremely large surface is provided by the tiny bubbles of enzyme, so it will have a large surface area, and the specificity of the microcapsule is increased by possibility of using a membrane which will favor the diffusion of substrates of certain types. What are the disadvantages? A high concentration of enzyme is needed and only low molecular weight substances can pass through. With the non-permanent liquid membranes, the same advantage occurs. The disadvantage is leakage. Now this is physical method where entrapment of these enzyme molecules will happen. So in entrapment, the enzymes or cells are not directly attached to the support surface, but they are simply trapped inside the polymer matrix. This entrapment is carried out by mixing the biocatalyst into a monomer solution, followed by polymerization initiated by a change in temperature. And polymers like polyacrylamide, collagen, cellulose acetate, calcium alginate, carrageenan, they can be used as matrices. So what are the disadvantages? The enzyme can leak into the surrounding medium and it can diffuse deep into the gel matrix. Advantages: it's simple, very small amount of enzyme is required, and there is very less likelihood of damage to the enzyme, and it is applicable to water insoluble enzymes also. So this table shows the comparison between different methods. When you are doing adsorption, covalent binding, entrapment or membrane confinement, you can compare the process of preparation, cost, binding force, etc. So what are the advantages of enzyme immobilization? You can use the single batch of enzyme many times, and immobilized enzymes are more stable. You can very easily or very rapidly stop the reaction by removing the enzyme. The product is not contaminated with the enzyme. Enzyme can be very easily separated from the product. You can develop a multi-enzyme reaction system very easily, and it reduces effluent disposal problems. What are the limitations? There is an additional cost due to the requirement of carriers, and in the process of immobilization, it invariably affects the stability and activity of enzymes. The technique may not be of any advantage when one of the substrate is found to be insoluble. Certain immobilization protocols offer serious problems with respect to diffusion to the substrate. There are mass transfer limitations. There are problems with cofactors and regenerations. There are problems with, sometimes you encounter problems with multi-enzyme systems also, and activity loss is also observed during immobilization of enzymes. Now what are the applications of this process? It is very commonly employed for production of antibiotics, for example penicillin. It is very commonly used in biomedical applications, for example to overcome metabolic deficiency with the use of encapsulated enzymes, and it is also used in production of syrups. It is also used in production of amino acids. So that is all about immobilization of enzymes. I hope this lecture was useful to you, and it will be helpful for your studies to get an understanding of this topic. Thank you very much.